So we're going to start off with a review of division. Example 1 says, determine the quotient using synthetic division. So remember that for synthetic division, I want to make sure that I have my polynomial in standard form from highest exponent down to the lowest, and that I don't need any placeholders. And that's the case here. So I'm going to take my coefficients of 3, +8, and -4 and line them up. And then my divisor on the bottom is, if you need to, what you set equal to 0. And it's x equals 2, so that's the number that goes on the shelf. Bring down our first term, which is 3. Then we multiply and add and repeat that pattern. So 3 times 2 gives me 6. Add straight down, 8 plus 6 is 14. Multiply, 14 times 2 is 28. Add straight down, -4 plus 28 is 24. So then remember that we draw our line. This part is the remainder. Then we go constant, x to the first. If I were to continue, it would be x squared, x to the third, and so on. So our quotient is 3x plus 14 plus 24 over x minus 2, because that was our divisor. So now the follow-up question says, is x minus 2 a factor of 3x squared plus 8x minus 4? Remember, for something to be a factor, it has to have no remainder. So our answer here would be no, x minus 2 is not a factor of 3x squared plus 8x minus 4, because there's a remainder of 24. Okay? And then it says, given f of x equals 3x squared plus 8x minus 4, find f of 2. So remember that this number in here is always our x. So that's x equals 2. So I'm going to take all of my x's and replace them with a 2. So 3 times 2 squared plus 8 times 2 minus 4. I'm going to open up my calculator screen. 3 times 2 squared plus 4 times 2 minus 8, right? Or did I reverse those? Oops, I reversed the 8 and the 4. So let's just change that. 8 times 2 minus the 4. There we go. And we get 24. Now, if you notice, the remainder is the same thing that I get. And that's not a coincidence. That's what's going to help us talk about our factor and our remainder theorem in a minute. But I do want to just do a quick shortcut for you here, guys. For this part here, if you wanted to, you could have typed this whole thing into your y equals and evaluated it that way. So if I went to y equals and typed in my polynomial, 3x squared plus 8x minus 4, then you're going to go to your table, and I'm looking for 2 because that was the value that I would have plugged in. So in my table, I'm looking at 2. And at 2, it's 24. So you could do it in the home screen, or you can do it using the table, but either way, you're going to end up with 24, which is your remainder when you divide by x minus 2.